Can I be vulnerable with you? Hi, my name is Carrie, and I want to be your reader. I've got two value propositions I want to share with you today. The first one will unfold as I talk, and the second one I'll reveal at the very end here. So follow along with this little story I want to share with you. It'll be worth it. I promise. 3 months ago, I had started a YouTube channel. Not this YouTube channel, another one, which I still technically have, but I've set on the back burner right now. I had started the channel as a quote-unquote stop-motion animation channel, but not for the typical reason of just like pure entertainment, right? Yes, that too, but for the purpose of getting people to smile, of communicating messages to remind people that life is good, it actually is good, that this world is something to smile about, right? And I have a lot of messages that I wanted to share, and ideas that would pop up into my head, and it was really hard to end up making the videos because, as it turns out, stop motion animation is actually kind of tricky. It's actually kind of hard, and the time it would take for me to be able to create something that by the time I was able to get a video put out, the idea was pretty much already passed on, right? So I decided not long ago to create this channel because I have things I want to talk about, and then I have this skill of reading cards, reading oracles that I used to practice a lot more in the past, and that I've decided I want to revive because I feel like this is an easy, positive outlet that I can use to share things with you, right? Now, this was 3 months ago, and ironically, considering that I'm somebody who knows how to do readings myself and have my own decks, I kind of got caught up in this cycle of watching other tarot readers. And there was a lot of confirmation bias for me. Things would come up, and the readings would definitely resonate with what I was feeling at the moment, would definitely, coincide with whatever the circumstances were in my life, but in a limited way. Like, I'd come up with a reading that would be like, oh, hey, you're being creative, you're going to get paid to, express yourself, get paid to exist, all these types of things. And it really felt like that, that was definitely something that was true. And I feel like in a certain sense it was true, but at the same time, kind of in a limited scope, right? Like, the energy was really good at predicting what was going on right now. But there was also a tendency for me to kind of want to project further with it, right? There was like, sometimes I would get readings of like, hey, somebody's going to be entering my life that can offer me help with something. And the thing of the matter is, they never arrived, right? You might get online and get really pulled into a love reading because like it's something we all hope for, right? That connection, that support, and then this is something I've been manifesting for a while, like a healthy kind of partnership, that healthy kind of connection, right? And one thing I've come to discover is that, like, while the readings could point out certain things, I feel like in a way some of it was intentionally misdirecting me, not in a malicious way, but rather in a way that kind of like was intended to make me look at some hard truths within myself, to make me seek within myself the things that I was looking for on the outside, the things that I still have a habit of looking for on the outside, right? Eventually it came to a point, with enough frustration of hoping that, like, I would build these connections and things, and going, okay, well, if the lesson is that to find these things within myself, I ended up flipping even harder to the other direction of like this hyper independence of like, I can solve all these things, I can be the support for myself, I can be the love for myself. And while this is true, that shouldn't be tainted with kind of an attitude of like of anger and frustration and things, which was definitely underlying in there with me, right? let's see here. You know, some situations came up in my life too, you know, like with some financial struggles, things that I still face right now, but slowly but surely are kind of starting to work out little bits of kinks. You know, my current day job, well, night job, because I actually work overnight at McDonald's, is just not supplying the hours I need to be able to afford to pay my bills, right? So I was like looking for a solution, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna drive with Uber. There was a little bit of a hang-up due to technical difficulties, you know, which took about a week to get resolved. A week of me constantly calling them, constantly messaging them, and you know, eventually it did get fixed, and I got, you know, approved to go ahead and drive. And you know, this goes in with like the readings that I was, you know, watching, listening to, with like, you know, and they're having this experience of confirmation bias. You know, it was like, yes, I got it. You know, I'm being rewarded for my persistence. And that was actually, you know, wording in one of the readings was like that. You know, because of my persistence, like I was being rewarded, right? And so I'm really excited. And this is when I had started, you know, just kind of within a few days of, you know, having started this channel, and I made a video, will you choose love or fear? And, you know, that video does indeed resonate with how I was feeling that day. It does indeed resonate with what I was experiencing right then, okay? And, you know, I get set up, I get the vehicle, I go out one day, I make some money, and then, you know, that evening comes along, I go to bed, and I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and, you know, I look over at my phone, there's an email. Uber deactivated my account. Persistence paying off. Oh no. I crashed. Emotionally, I fell back into an old pattern. I fell back into, you know, the tendency from, you know, early on in my life and throughout much of my life of being like, nothing ever works out for me. And I had to take a moment to really kind of sit with that energy and work out the emotions with myself, because, you know, if I, you know, have a reading that says like about making a choice between love and fear, you know, and it gets thrown in my face to choose love or fear again, it was kind of difficult. After I got most of that energy cleared up, I did another reading, and it was, did you fall in the mud? And this one, you know, I was kind of actually struggling to come up with clarity on this reading, or struggling to communicate, you know, what the meaning was. And I think that actually speaks a lot to the energy I was in, or it speaks a lot to the mentality I was in, right? You know, so, you know, like I said, it speaks to what I was in, right? So there's this kind of, what I was going through at the time, you know, kind of relates to this card here from the Fairies Oracle, Death, right? Now, this isn't the same Death card that's in, like, your classic Rider-Waite, you know, tarot, though there are definitely, you know, enough overlaps that you could look at it the same way. But to me, I get this impression of, like, if you've ever seen the movie The Christmas Carol, and I'm talking about, like, more old school version of it, when Scrooge meets Death as one of the ghosts, the silent, no response, just there, just present, you know, force, this being who is, you know, more stubborn than me. Life has been more stubborn than me. And that's saying a lot, because I'm an Aries, and stubborn is kind of our thing, right? But I also feel at the same time it does relate to the Hermit. Because this is this stepping away, this isolation, this time out kind of an energy, right? You know, this time out kind of an energy. But the thing of the matter is, when I finally was able to more gather up my emotions, and really come into that, like, that choice of between, like, choosing love and choosing fear, choosing love, choosing to transmute what I was experiencing at the moment into something valuable. Well, I chose to transmute it into this video. I chose to transmute it into, what I'm talking about now. And have you guessed my first proposition yet? Let me tell you, authenticity. Okay. I want to be able to provide you readings that aren't, even though, yes, I do like using cards from this Fairy Oracle deck, aren't, say, airy-fairy. They come from real personal experience that I've been through, the highs and the lows in life. I'm not necessarily promising that my readings are going to tell you everything is perfect. That's not my intention. My readings are there to encourage you to choose love and to choose beauty again and again and again. Because it's through the embodiment of our spirituality, through the embodiment of our practice, and through the embodiment, of the confidence, that we can realize it's not that life happens to us. It's not that life happens for us. I actually like to say that life happens through us. Okay? And, evidence that life happens through us. That video I made, did you fall in the mud? Yeah, I had my moment of my face just covered in mud, covered in, the muck. But, the truth of the matter is that in the mud, there's lots of wonderful life. The earthworms, microorganisms that, are the very foundation of the soil that, allows life to exist, right? Taking this moment, the question comes up, will I succeed? I don't know. But what I do know is that if I stay down, if I choose not to get up, I'm guaranteed to fail. That being said, can I ask you a favor? Can I ask a return on my first value proposition? Can you watch my videos, even my sloppy ones, anything that appears to appeal to you, and whether the video seems of quality or not, whether I'm stumbling over my words, watch my videos. Watch my messy videos, my trying to find my words to explain what I'm getting in the reading videos, my clear videos, my happy videos. Watch them. Comment on them. Tell me about what's going on in your life. How do these readings relate to you? How do these things relate to your experiences? Because the thing of the matter is, I actually do want to hear from you. I do want to connect to you. I do want to have conversations with you. Yes, it helps the algorithm definitely to grow the channel because YouTube's new algorithm prioritizes interaction, but I am prioritizing interaction. I want to get to know you as people so that way I can be your reader. When I say being your reader, I mean this is more of a personal, kind of experience. I want my readings to be relevant to you. And if I know what's going on with you, then I can bring through things that are relevant for you. Which brings on to my second value proposition. My second value proposition, so if you've ever watched other tarot channels, you'll often find that they'll say something along the lines of, I do not offer personal readings, or at this time we cannot give personal readings. Well, I do. Go down into the comments, ask a question. Ask a question that you would ask if you were getting a tarot reading. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to make videos based off of these questions, so maybe try to keep your questions, if they're super, super personal that you don't want other people getting into your particular business, try to keep them in such a way to where it protects you as an individual, protects your security, right? But once the channel grows enough, I actually am going to open up memberships in which I will do truly more one-on-one personal readings, right? And content specifically for that smaller group, because it's going to be easier to read for a smaller collective specific things than it would be for a larger collective. But in the meantime, at this moment, while I'm making this video, I've got less than 10 subscribers. How hard could it be for me to go through, read your comments, and go, I need to make a video about that because I need to make something that this person needs to hear right now. If any of this sounds good to you, if you want to be on board with this, and you haven't already, like this video, subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and go into my page, click on the videos, especially the Will You Choose Love or Fear and the Did You Fall in the Mud videos, because of relating to what I'm talking about in this topic here. And I'll see you there.